Hello there, welcome to Penpositive Journal. This is Vinod Narayan. Yes, I'm going to call it the Penpositive Journal, not Penpositive Weekly anymore. The reason is I don't know if I'm going to do it every week, so I'll call it the Penpositive Journal. The Great Resignation, have you heard about it? No? Okay, now you hear it. So apparently in the US, since last April to August, about 20 million people have resigned their jobs. That sounds like a very huge number, right? I read it recently. I'm thinking, why would people resign? Because most of the people I was talking to during the pandemic, they lost their job. The industries kind of closed down. Companies closed down. And they were wondering what is the way that they could get back to work. And now you're reading about people resigning. And not one or two people. People are resigning it's a great resignation. And I'm thinking, what would people do? Why would people resign at this point? Maybe last 1.5, 2 years have given people to reflect on what is important in life. They've got used to maybe a lifestyle of living and working remotely. And the fear that you have to go to office might be the reason that they're deciding that they quit from that job. And some of these people would be going back to the workforce. That's a whole different thing. I'm not saying that everyone who resigns is just going to sit at home. You can't even travel like before, where you retire and then you travel all over the world. Now there are so many restrictions to travel as well. So why do people resign? And don't you think the company should be worried about this? Now let me ask a question. So if you are running a company, if you are in a senior position in a company, if given a choice, you're telling all your employees that for the next 3 years, you don't have to work, you will get a salary, you don't have to do anything, you can do whatever you want, and how many people will remain in your company? Will everyone that you've hired or everyone who is contributing towards the profits and revenues of your company remain with the company if you tell them that they're going to be paid salary even if they don't work? Even if they decide to not work, they'll be paid salary. Will they work? No. Obviously. You might have some people because they absolutely love what they're doing, irrespective of what pay you're giving them. So they might continue with the company. There are some other people who will continue because they have nothing else to do. They work for so many years in a company and they don't have anything else to do in their life. And when these people actually retire over a period of time, what would they do? What would they do? I think this is a serious problem. I remember talking to a friend of mine once and I asked her, what's your passion? What do you want to do? And he looked at me like I asked him a question that I'm not supposed to ask. It's not because he doesn't have a passion. It's because he has come kind of resigned himself to the fact that he can't do anything about it. Because he's so busy with work. He has so much work undone at the end of the day. What do? You start a day, you work, and at the end of the day, you get your work done. But if you imagine the situation where at the end of the day, you have so much work that is undone, and every day ends with a lot of undone work, how long can someone pull with that? What is the point in which they might decide that, no, that's enough? And many people might be resigning because they can't do this anymore, or they think that because you're going in, it's just like when you go in a traffic and you see that line is moving, you move your car into that lane and then that lane stops and this lane starts moving. So maybe they're jumping companies thinking that things are going to change in the other company. But unless the company, the executives in the company, the management in the company decide to really take care of this whole issue, or individually we decide to take care of what it is that makes us happy at work, nothing is going to change. People are going to resign and then probably join another company, and then after a few initial honeymoon season is over, they feel the same way again. Now, why do people leave a company? Now, there are HR teams within the company, right? Do people leave a company because the HR is not good? Because a human resource manager is not good? I don't think so. How many times would you have seen people leaving the company because the human resources director, the people's manager, the HR manager was not good? People leave for many other reasons. People, even if you have a great HR department and the person has a lousy manager, the guy, the girl will leave. They leave, right? Because you interact with people, and if you are interacting with people with whom you cannot work, you leave. So there's a lot of factors people leave. And all these issues, when you were working remotely, sitting in your desk, and reflecting at what your life has gone through, all these things come out. The manager, the colleagues, the good, the bad. And then you decide, what the heck is happening? Where did all those time go? Now, there are obviously people like me who need to work to pay my bills. So I'm talking about people who might not have to do that. If you look at it, there are a lot of people who still work, even though they don't have to really work to pay their bills. But then why do they work? Because they don't have anything else to do. Probably they've not figured it out. I've seen a lot of people who retire and then get back to work. Why? Because what do you do retiring? And imagine a 35, 45, 50, 55-year-old person who decide to resign now, thinking that, okay, I've had enough of this. And then what? Then what? So it's very important if you're at work right now, whether you're planning to resign, you're not planning to resign, you're going to stay in the work, whatever it is, try to find out what you love. Try to find out what you love. Try to think about one such thing and get going with it. You don't have to leave your job. Just start doing it. Be happy with that. And then that'll make, for me, that's how I look at it. The 8 hours I need to work. And I don't care what it is. I like my work. That's a whole different thing. But even if I don't really like my work that much, I'll still continue that 8 hours because I need to make a living. Last video, I talked about the 3 levels in which we look at work. But at that time, I had not, this whole idea of the great resignation has not struck me. Now, what can companies do? No, I think companies need to have people in the organization. They should hire people in the organization who can connect with people, for who they are, and make their experience working in the company more meaningful. And not every managers can do that. Sometimes managers just act like managers. They manage. But you need people who can connect and make coming to work, interacting with people meaningful. I think that's important. And there are a lot of people, if you look around, you can find a lot of people within your organization who make working a meaningful experience for others. And those people should be rewarded. And they're not always rewarded, no. Your companies don't always reward the people who make working a meaningful experience for others. You should identify those people. Now, if you think your company needs to do something like that, and you want to talk about it, send me an email, vinod@penpositive.com. vinod@penpositive.com. Creating meaningful work experiences for others. That's very important. And resignation, the great resignation. There are a lot of people, I think about 48% of people are still looking for jobs. So, yeah. And another interesting factor that's happening is there's a lot of people, talented people who've got a lot of experience, just leave the workforce. Imagine how how it impacts companies. I've seen people with years in the tech field, having years of experience, made a lot of money, and they've been doing the same thing, and they leave the company, and then they're trying to figure out what to do. Startup, invest, what else? Is that what you wanted to do? And then start a company and do the same thing that you were doing for the past so many years? Or is it something else? Are you unable to find out what you really want to do? There are 20-year-olds who have told me that they find it very difficult. They've not figured out what they want to do in their life. And I'm saying, forget about 20-year-old. There are 50-year-olds who have not figured out what they want to do with the rest of their life. And they're not able to figure out what they want to do for the rest of their life after spending most part of their life doing something they probably at some point or the other loved. And even keep loving, but that question is still there. You guys take care. And you can reach me at Vinod@penpositive.com. Be content, be pen positive, stay safe, and please be kind. Thank you.